Everyone please be outstanding for the national anthem.
Hello everybody and welcome to Windsor Park down at Riverside, where today we are bringing to you the first of the NTFA Grand Finals. September the 9th welcomes in Division 2 Grand Final Day, and we're about to bring you the Reserves Grand Final in Division 2 between Old Scotch and St Pat's, a couple of the old foes getting together here at Windsor Park to decide the top team for 2017. Pictures today being brought to you by our great friends at Carter Productions. Arnie and Sarah. Arnie on the camera for you, and he'll be providing the pictures for both games today and of course the Division 1 Grand Final next week. My name is Terry Fellows, and as per usual we'll give you our disclaimer early in the day, where we are seeing most of these players for the first time for the year, so we're bound to get a few of them wrong, but I'm sure those of you watching it at home will know who's who, so we apologise if we get a few names wrong, but we'll do our very best to be accurate for you. Scotch and St Patrick's College, the customary push and shove around the centre circle there before the first bounce. Scotch will be going to the city end of the ground, and St Pat's to the left of your screen will be kicking towards the Lagana end. Field umpires in this grand final: Gary Bass, closest to the camera, and the Sammet's father and son. To get the game underway, umpire Sammet will throw the ball up in the centre, and we're away in the Division 2 Reserves Grand Final. Who can win the ball out of the centre and get the first clean possession? No one, I don't think, and there's going to be another ball up to get the game rolling. We will also have a bit of a problem with the Scotch team as we go through the call, because many changes to the Scotch numbers that we were given in the program earlier on. We'll do our best to get them right for you, but it will make things difficult until we get used to players and names as the game progresses. Scotch win the tap away there, comes down, they can't win clean possession. There'll be another ball up, so we've had 3 ball ups, hasn't gone out of the centre square yet. And the first quarter, ground bathed in sunshine. Now St Pat's work it towards the front edge of their centre square. Now they might get a clean possession. No, knocked away. Finally, inside 50 for St Pat's. Punched away by the strong defence there of Old Scotch through the agency of number 22, who was Harvey. Now transfers around the centre wing. Scotch, after 3 grabs, take the mark over there. That's number 24, George Oliver. He transfers the ball down. Spilt what he probably should have taken, then the Scotch player goes back in after it strongly. Ball on the centre square edge on the far side of the ground. Whistle on play, and it's going to be a St Patrick's free kick. So the Saints will get the kick. Brings it in towards the edge of the centre square. There's a hold called on Dale O'Neill as he led for the ball, and he'll get the free kick right on the edge of the centre square. Umpire Gary Bass picking that free kick up. The evergreen Dale O'Neill. Stabs the ball inside 50 and finds a leading teammate there in Vice-Captain Matt Lynham. And Lynham will line up for the first shot at goal in the grand final. .40 metres out. Oh, kicked into the man on the mark. He's going to get a chance to get it back. Can he? No, ridden into the ground. Player, no, he's played the free kick. Ridden into the ground, pushing the back, and St Pat's will take the free kick. He plays on quickly, spots up his teammate there on a better angle, Ben Cook, the captain of the Saints, and Cook will go back now and will take the second shot on goal. First one was kicked into the man on the mark, and the second one hopefully will result in the first score in the game. In he comes, deliberate approach, high kick, straight kick, heard the crowd reaction, first score on the board to St Pat's, goes to number 8, Brendan Cook. First quarter goal, St Pat's on the scoreboard, lead 1 goal straight. Scotch yet to get into their attacking 50, so a good start for the Saints in this grand final. So don't forget, if you want anything converted from analogue to digital, go and see Arnie at Carter Productions. He'll only be too happy to make your film into something sparkling brand new. Go and see Carter Productions in George Street in Launceston. St Pat's coming forward again. This time it's going to be marked on the defensive 50 by Scotch. That's Clinton Marson, I think it was. High tackle there. St Pat's will get the free kick. Daniel Scott with the ball, looking to bring it forward. Nothing much on offer, so he's going to just have to kick it long. And that's going to be a 50 metres as his man on the marks jumped well and truly over the mark. You would have been able to see that there in the camera shot. And this is going to take St Pat's well and truly within kicking distance of their second goal in this first quarter. So it's going to be Daniel Scott lining up for the second major in this first term for his team. Can he kick accurately? 25 metres out. A bit of a wobbly spinning kick, but it's gone through. So 2 goals on the board early in the game to St Pat's. So Scotch with plenty of work to do in this first quarter. Reserves grand final. NTFA Division 2 Grand Final Day here at Windsor Park. Back in the centre with umpire Gary Bass. As we said earlier, being accompanied by the 2 Sammets, Dad Sammet and Son Sammet. Father and son combination doing a grand final. Not the thing that you see very often. St Pat's coming forward again. They've had all the play in this early part of the first quarter. Inside 50 again they come. Quick flick out there in the direction of Wiley. He can't pick it up. Still struggling the ball forward, St Pat's. Dale O'Neill in there for the Sainters. Comes back out. Plenty of St Pat's players here. Quick step on goal for them there by number 33, Cameron Bailey. And I think the bounce has eluded everyone, has it? Yes, it has. So, third goal to St Pat's in this opening term. That's the start that they would have hoped for, and not the start that their opposition in Old Scotch would have wanted. So 18, 3 straight goals. Lead zip on the scoreboard. St Patrick's well in front early in this term. Not too sure what the clock on the scoreboard's doing, but it's hasn't been going 31 minutes and 57 seconds, I don't think this first quarter, so I think someone forgot to reset the clock. But anyway, we won't be too perturbed about that. When the siren goes, the first quarter's over. So there's a ball up on the far side of the ground, midway between centre wing and half forward flank for Scotch. Can they make a move forward here? Yes, finally, inside 50 they go. Long one down to the front of the goal. The pack fly comes to ground. Can they struggle on off the ground and get a score? No, they can't. Well, not at the moment anyway. They still pursue the footy. Quick hands, gets it away, zig-zag, round the corner. Down in front of goal it goes once again, and this might be punched through by the defence. No, it's not. Working hard to get it out of there around that far side of the ground. No one can pick the ball up cleanly. It's a pretty scrambly first quarter in the main. Now St Pat's try to hook it outside 50. They do get it outside 50, but right into the corridor, which will be to the advantage of Scotch. Tom Allison there, who you would hardly think's a reserves player, but he's playing in the reserves here today. Kicks it out of defence once again, and the mark's been taken there for Old Scotch by Brodie Jarrod. Long kick, right out in front of goal. St Pat's in the last line of defence. Defends stoutly towards the boundary line once again, and it rolls over. And the boundary umpire will get his first boundary throw in. Probably been going about 10 minutes. I'm going to have to start the stopwatch here in the commentary box, I think, so that we know where we're at in the quarter. Another whistle on play as they pack up just on the 50-metre line in the Scotch's attacking zone. And the umpire will throw the ball high in the air. There it goes, the big men fly. Scotch win the tap down. Now they've got a chance to hook it around and kick a goal. No, he's hooked it too far. And bounces off the net at the back of the goal. And welcome innovation here at Windsor Park. The big netting behind both end goals to stop the ball going out of play over the bank and big delays in getting it back. So now we have St Pat's going to that far side of the ground, defending out there. Not a great deal of wind to affect the game here early in the piece at least. Now St Pat's will charge away with the footy into a Neil direction. It's taken overhead by Reynolds. That's Liam Reynolds. He's the kick high in the air. O'Neill underneath it, and he parks himself and takes the mark. Then quickly on to the left foot. Brings it out in the direction here of his teammate in Touchworth. Touchworth goes forward, but all he finds is an opposition defender in Matthew Harvey. Harvey switches play, goes to the outer side of the ground. Up and over goes the kick. Didn't find its mark, but luckily they'll get out of trouble here, Scotch. Sprint away with the ball, one bounce. Now he steadies. Right foot, driving kick. Down to the front edge of the centre square it goes. It'll bounce inside 50. Now they've got a rope and run on goal. I think that was Allison, was it? And the first goal on the board to Scotch, it was number 3, Tommy Allison, getting a first quarter goal for the Thistles, and they now move on to 1-1-7, trailing St Pat's, who are 3 goals straight in this first term. Good crowd in here at Windsor Park to see this Division 2 Reserves Grade Grand Final. Later on in the afternoon, of course, we've got the Senior Grand Final between Lilydale, fronting up for their second Grand Final in a row, and they'll play the new side in the competition, the East Coast Swans. First year into the competition and into a grand final. So the game's restarted in the centre circle. St Pat's struggling at forward. O'Neill in the front position, tap, 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 and marks it. Still a pretty handy footballer, Dale O'Neill, gives it off. Right down in front of full forward, leading in the race for the ball, there's Lynham for St Pat's, snaps it around the corner and out of bounds on the full, in that forward pocket at the Lagana end of the ground here at Windsor Park, and Scotch will get the relieving kick out of defence. Can't take the mark, comes to ground. O'Neill waiting at the back of the pack, knows where to position himself, does Dale O'Neill. Hands the ball off, then goes back in and gets it again. Now, the numbers are with Scotch here as they link up with handball and kick the ball into the centre circle. And mark taken there for them. He's hiding behind the big white pole here. Can't see who it is at the moment. Arnie will have that trouble with his camera work as well, so nothing we can do about moving the poles. They're just a little big, a little heavy, and a little solid in the ground, I think. So there's a whistle on play there at the top of the 50-metre mark. Scotch going towards that city end of the ground in this quarter. Punched away out of that ruck contest there by big number 24, George Oliver. Now they've got another chance. Sneak the ball around. Loose man here. Oh, St Pat's closed the gap nicely, but coming over the back of the pack, running into an open goal. Surely he won't miss this. Number 27 for Old Scotch, who is Connor Dixon, puts it through for a major score. And Connor Dixon, one of the additions to this side today, not originally in the side selected in our program. And that brings Old Scotch back within 5 points. 2-1-13, trailing St Pat's, who got those 3 straight goals early in the piece. They're on 18. So it's 18 playing 13. And if we were to take notice of the clock on the scoreboard, we've travelled 38 minutes and 32 seconds. Not likely, said he. So, Scotch again, trying to clear the ball out of the centre circle there through Allison. They can't. Ball rebounds, they get possession once again. Pack develops down there. They've got it out again, though, Old Scotch. Here's another snap on goal. And off to the left-hand side. And goal umpire John Moroney doing his work down there. Signals are behind. So St Pat's quickly bring the ball back in. They find a man way over there in the far corner. He transfers the ball round to centre wing. No one can take clean possession. Scotch will drive this back in. They do. Long kick. Ball comes to ground. Sneaking it around the corner there for the Thistles. And a goal, I think it is. That was number 43, who is Joshua Shepherd. And he's kicked another goal for Scotch. And that will give them the lead. After trailing early with no score on the board, they've now raced up to 3-2-20, leading St Pat's 3 goals straight. Lovely sunny day here at Windsor Park. You can see the mountain ranges over on the eastern side of the ground. The snow-capped Ben Lomond off to our right-hand side. So St Pat's try to bring the ball forward. Bit of a mismatch there in numbers. It's going to be taken away once again by number 28, Lachlan Bremner. Kicks the ball forward. And no one can take clean possession. They're all diving on the foot here. Was he ridden into the ground? No, said the umpire. He's just allowed the game to go on, and now he'll have to have a ball up. Centre half forward. Right in front of goal. Scotch into attack. Umpire hesitates. Now he throws the ball up. Going nowhere quickly. And we'll wait to see if they can clear. A quick kick out of the pack there by Scotch, through for another minor score. This time to the right-hand side of the goal. And that moves Scotch on to 3-3-21. And they have that 3-point lead over St Pat's, who have managed 3 goals straight and are finding it hard now in the last 5 minutes to get the ball forward into their scoring zone. Mark dropped there for them by Jordan Beams. Went back in after it. Loose ball travelling towards centre wing, out over the boundary line for a throw in the coach's box area, centre wing here at Windsor Park. Now, Scotch have the chance to go forward in front of goal once again through the agency there of a strong kick from George Oliver. Now St Pat's have got some work to do. They've got to take it across the face of goal to the far side of the ground. There's a man out there on his own, takes the mark, runs on, no one within cooey of him, and passes the ball to Johnson. Johnson on quickly. Pardon me, not a nice time to have a sneeze. So it's out of bounds, out in front of the scoreboard that says 3-3-21 Scotch. St Pat's 3 goals straight. There's the throw in. St Pat's win the knockout. Comes to ground. Can't clear it out of there. And once again the pack develops. No, there's going to be a free kick pulled out of this, I think, and it's going to go to St Pat's. And now, 50-metre penalty. Someone, I think, said something that they shouldn't have said. And now the 50-metre penalty will take St Pat's right up within scoring distance of goal. 25 metres out, slight angle. No wind to be too much of a nuisance, I don't think, in the shot coming from where most of the winds come this week, from the north or west. In he comes, shoots at goal, hasn't got the legs okay, but it hasn't got the accuracy. Through for the first minor score for St Pat's, 3-1-19, 2 points the difference. They trail by 2, 21 for Scotch. Ball kicked out, close to the boundary line. No one can get it before it goes out for a throw-in. There's the throw-in from the boundary umpire. Darla O'Neill doing the ruck work for St Pat's. Comes down in the direction of Scotch. They get to clear the ball. Left foot. Down towards centre wing. No one can control it before it goes out over the line. Illingworth couldn't get a handle on the footy. So another boundary throw in. The schoolboy thing where the 2 ruckmen have to put their hand up and identify themselves to the field umpire. Have you ever heard such rubbish? And a free kick being picked out of this to Scotch, and it's going to go to number 40, Shea Browning. He transfers it further around centre wing. The race is on for the footy there. Scotch will get possession, kick it down inside 50, bouncing ball. Can someone pick it up and get it out of there? It's a bit scrambly once again. Players should have lost their nervousness now of the grand final, and it's finally forced out over the boundary line. On the full, says the boundary umpire, so there'll be a free kick there in defence to St Pat's. Keeping it pretty close to the boundary line. Scotch trying to work it out in front of goal now. They go forward, and there's the mark taken down in front of goal for the Thistles. And it's big Brody Masters with the footy in hand. Gone back a long way. Man on the mark, probably 25 metres out of goal. Not an angle to talk about here. In he comes on the left foot, gives it plenty of air. Goal umpire Maroney skips underneath the flight of the ball, and it's good enough to be another goal to St Pat's, to Brody Masters. That's their 4th in this first term. 4-3-27, St Pat's at 3-1-19. So we've got an 8-point ball game in this first quarter, and it must be getting pretty close to the end of that quarter. A very miniature water carrier out here in front of our broadcast position. Poor little man, his cape's falling off him. You can see him in the front of the camera shot there. So the ball's thrown up again to start in the centre circle. Scotch forcing the ball out towards centre wing. They gain possession and drive it further around towards the arc of the 50-metre mark there on the far side boundary line. And the boundary umpire grabs it, comes back to throw it in. Dale O'Neill doing some ruck work now for St Pat's. His rucky partner stationed at centre half forward in Spencer, the vice-captain. Now they have a chance to get it down in that direction, and it falls into the arms there of Reynolds. Reynolds has been a decent player for them in this first quarter. Here's Dale O'Neill. Up near full forward now. Scotch with the numbers will run this ball out of defence. If they can pick it up, yes they can. He avoids the tackle. Does number 21 there for Scotch. Gets free. And that was Jacob Reynolds. And Tommy Allison with the mark in the centre square. Goes as long as his little legs will carry him. Mark almost by Masters. Comes to ground. Pack developing. St Pat's thrown out of the pack. Here's a chance now for Scotch as they swoop on the ball through Keenan Brown. Out towards the boundary line. And the boundary line wins the race, so we'll have another boundary throw in. Long quarter. Now, Scotch have a flying shot at goal here. Across the face, and as you can see, hit the point post on the full, and it'll be a relieving free kick for out of bounds on the full to be taken by St Pat's in that last line of defence. And he kicks into the man on the mark. Second time in the quarter that a St Pat's player has kicked into the man on the mark. So we'll now have a boundary throw in adjacent to the behind post in that right pocket at the city end of the ground. Scotch player avoiding the tackles as he comes through the traffic, ends up in the hands of a Saint. Mark taken in the centre there by Jacob Reynolds. No, it's not Jacob Reynolds, actually, it's Clinton Marsden. Puts it back over 50, and the big man that's kicked the goal already in this quarter there, George Oliver, takes the mark, and that's a strong mark. Right in the centre corridor, last line of defence for St Pat's. He goes forward looking for a teammate in number 46 there, Justin Wiley, and finds him. Wiley switches the play, goes to the outer side. No one can take the mark. Was it a push in the back? No, says the umpire. Play goes on. Scotch go back inside 50, bouncing ball towards the boundary line. Quick snap on goal. St Pat's with plenty of work to do there, and it's forced through for a minor score. So, at quarter time, we will have a score line of, on the scoreboard at the moment it says 4-3, but I think that might be 4-4. At the moment it's 4-3-27 Old Scotch, St Pat's 3-1-19. So the scoreboard hasn't changed at the moment, so we'll go with that score at quarter time of 4-3-27 Old Scotch, leading St Pat's 3-1-19 in this Division 2 Reserve Grade Grand Final here at Windsor Park.
Early time, scoreboard Scotch 4 goals 3, and St Pat's 3 goals 1. Reserve game, Wesley Vale 2 goals 6, leading 4 goal at quarter time.
We're about to get underway in this second term as the umpire throws the ball in the air. We're missing a couple of goal kickers from that first term. We'll endeavour to sort that out for you at half time and give you the goal kickers at half time as Scotch go forward early in this second quarter. They lead on the scoreboard at the moment by, what have we got, 4-4. It was 4-4 at quarter time, as I thought it was. And they've got the first goal on the board in this second quarter, and I think it came off the boot of number 49 for Scotch, who is Paul McKendrick. So a great name in football over time. Paul McKendrick puts through a second quarter goal for Scotch to get them up to 34. So it was in actual fact 4-4 at a quarter time, which was 28 to Scotch, 3-1-19 to St Pat's after that 3-goal opening burst early in the first quarter. They haven't done much scoring since, just one minor score actually, since those 3 goals early in that first term. Time clock going correctly for us on the scoreboard this time, which is good. And there'll be a restart adjacent to the centre circle. Knocked away there for St Pat's. Can they get the ball forward? They can't. Scotch have found their feet a bit better in this second half of the first quarter, and early in this second quarter they're going much more strongly than they were early. Stevenson with the ball for St Pat's, bounces it very close to the boundary line, and it's going to be called deliberate, which is also one of my pet hates. Has anyone tried to throw a football into the ground and tell exactly which way it's going to bounce? Surprise me if they have, as McKendrick there fires the ball forward, the goal kicker in this second quarter for Scotch. St Pat's with lots of work here to do in defence. They fumble it close to the boundary line, and that's where it goes in the finish, out over the boundary line, and they'll have a throw in. Thought all my friends were leaving me here in the commentary box, but no, Sarah's come back. Just a change of chairs. That's fine. I still do have a friend. McKendrick again, this time on the left foot. He's hooked it long, and that's a great goal. His second in the quarter from the little man with not much hair on his head, number 49, Paul McKendrick. So he's having an influence early in this second quarter for Scotch. He moves their score along to 6-4. the 2 goals in this term, both to him. 6-4-40 leads 3-1-19 in this reserve grade grand final. So, as I said, we're missing a couple of goal kickers, but we'll give them to you as we have at the moment. McKendrick now has 2, the only multiple goal scorer in the game. Allison 1, Bremner 1, and Brodie Masters 1 for Scotch. There's a free kick there in the centre circle. Be taken by the big ruckman, number 47 for St Pat's in Spencer. Fires the ball down to 50, and the mark's taken there for St Pat's. And that's Jordan Beams. Thinks he can make the distance, obviously. He's going to have to kick it from just outside 50. We've got the perfect angle on the kick here. Arnie will guide this one through for us on the camera. Oh, he's run a long way to the right. That's where the ball's gone as well. Not going to make the distance. And it's still out in front of goal. Can St Pat's make something of this? Umpire closely watching the contest. And he'll now, oh no, he's called holding the ball. He said he dragged it in. So who's going to get the free kick? It's going to go in the direction of Dale O'Neill. And now a 50-metre penalty. Someone had a bit to say, I would suggest, to the umpire. And a 50-metre penalty will put Dale O'Neill right in front of goal. He'll make no mistake, kicks it into the net at the back of the goal, and a goal to Dale O'Neill, a goal to St Pat's, and that is their 4th major. So they trail by 15, is it? Yes, 40 to 25, 15 points is the difference. On the scoreboard, and that keeps the Saints in touch with Scotch in this game. High tackle, free kick will go to St Pat's in that centre circle. On the way by, takes the handball. Now he's got to avoid the player coming towards him. That was Brendan Cook, got caught with the footy. He didn't avoid it and tried to do just a little too much, and now Scotch are on the way forward. Through the agency there of Dixon. Dixon will fire it into the forward pocket. Couldn't find a target. Out over the boundary line. Boundary throw in. Glorious day here at Windsor Park for the footy. And over at Rochalee, of course, Rochalee doing battle with Bracknell for a spot in the Division 1 Grand Final next week against South Launceston in the seniors, that is. Boundary umpire comes well in ground, throws it high in the air. Good to see an ex-NTFA boundary umpire in Mitch Lefevre doing the game between Geelong and Richmond last night at the MCG. Had a lot of games at the MCG this year, Mitch Lefevre on the boundary. And we wish him well for the rest of the final series. It'd be great to see him get a grand final. He's been thereabouts for a few years and may just crack it this year. Former Allen's Garden Centre employee, young Mitch. Started his career as a boundary umpire with the Northern Tasmanian umpires as a 12-year-old, in fact. He did. And now St Pat's streaking forward through the agency there of Reynolds. There's been a whistle on play. No, yes, it's going to be a St Pat's free kick down there. And let's see who's got the ball. Number 15, I think it is, for St Pat's, which will be Sean Stevenson, lining up for goal. Not too far out. Didn't trouble the goal umpire too much. Comes back to the centre of the goals and gives the 2-finger signal, an all-clear goal to St Pat's. So they're on the way back. 6-4 plays 5-1. St Pat's now trailing by 9 points in this second term. So it's back to the difference that it was at quarter time. 9 points at a quarter time. It's now back to 9 points. 2 goals each in this second quarter. St Pat's take possession of the ball at the back of the centre square and drive it outside to the wing. Bouncing ball, no one can get control of it. McKendrick approaching the footy there. He's a clever player, this fella, former North system footballer of years gone by, a Bracknell boy, born and bred. Can't get possession of the ball, goes in, puts the St Pat's player to the ground, picked up there by one of St Pat's best players in Liam Reynolds. Number 5 gets it down, and Dale O'Neill saying he got a push, but the umpire's not having any of that. Allison with the ball, now centre wing, streaks forward, puts it up inside 50, races on here, strong tackle from the front. St Pat's pushing the ball forward, and now we're going to have a boundary throw in right out in front of our camera position here on the highway side of Windsor Park. Don't forget, Carter Productions bringing you the pictures this afternoon of this Division 2 Grand Final, and of course, as they will all through the NTFA Grand Final Series. Anything that you need in the way of production, conversions, etc., go and see Arnie at Carter Productions in George Street, and he'll be only too happy to provide that service for you. Boundary throw in down here in front of our commentary position. High in the air it goes. There's a whistle on play, and there's going to be a free kick here. And I think umpire Gary Bass is saying there was no nomination for the ruck. That lovely thing that I so much admire about today's football. You have to tell the umpire you want to go for the footy. Oh, yeah. So, grabbing the ball there in defence. St Pat's clearing it out, getting it into the centre square. Picked up there by Tom Everett. Dale O'Neill about to swoop on the loose ball, but he didn't see the Scotch player there in front of him. No one can take clean possession. Ball bobbling around. Down to ground they go. Here's a chance for Scotch to clear it out. Long handball out of the back. There's a whistle on play, and it's going to be a free kick. Back on the 50-metre mark to Scotch. He's got a man loose out here on centre wing, and that's where he puts it. Drops it in the arms of Hogarth. Hogarth takes it to the edge of the centre square. He dropped what he should have taken there, Daniel Scott. Had enough time to recover, gives it off there in the direction of Rodman. Rodman goes towards O'Neill. Can O'Neill control the footy? No, he can't. Boundary line wins the race, out over the boundary line, and we'll have another throw in. So we've travelled 11 minutes, a little over 11 minutes in the second term. Scott 6-4, 40. St Pat's 5-1, 31. Reasonably accurate kicking by both sides on a pretty calm day. Sunshine disappearing behind a cloud for the moment, but I don't think that'll be the end of the sunshine. I think we'll get more of it during the course of the afternoon. It's supposed to get to 15 degrees, says the man from the Weather Bureau. Now a pack develops once again, and the umpire has no alternative but to come in and throw the ball up. Big pack around the footy there, as you can see. Ruckman nominate, slapped away by Spencer for St Pat's. There's a whistle on play here, and Scotch will get a free kick in that last line of defence. And a loose ball out over the boundary line. So the boundary umpire getting plenty of work inside that 50-metre arc now at the end that St Pat's are going to. St Pat's ruckman bundled out of the contest. Play goes on. Comes back towards centre wing, and cutting the ball off there is Tuxworth. Went to go, now will go on the left foot. Gets it back to 50. Scotch repellent out of defence. Trying to get around the tackle there for Scotch was Bremner. And holding the ball, says the umpire. Illegal disposal, and the free kick's going to go to Arkless. Arkless goes forward looking for a teammate, can't control it. Illingworth that was, rolled out off his fingers for another throw in. Ruckman fly. This time it's the Scotch ruckman that gets the ball clear. Now by the weight of numbers they've got a chance to bring the ball forward. They do. One-on-one contest there. Ball comes to ground. The race is on. You can see it, our camera shot there. Picked up cleverly for Scotch. They get the ball inside 50. Oh, here comes the big man. There's a big crunch on there. Players falling to the ground. Umpire allows the ball to continue. Picked up for St Pat's. Neat little handball ends up in the hands there of Everett. Everett clears it into the centre square. Now Scotch have a chance to bring it back in. Oh, bit of a wayward handball, but it'll work out okay. Off the side of the boot. Pushing the back. No, said the umpire. Dropped the ball there, and I've got a nasty feeling. Oh no, it was number 47, Jackson Young. I thought it was number 41 at first glance, but it is number 47. I was going to say we didn't have a number 41. Now, back inside the centre square. Scotch. What I call the negative handball to someone facing the wrong way. They get out of it, however, get it inside. Ball comes free. Wadman it was, got the ball away. He's still in there, fighting for the footy. Here goes McKendrick again as he lines up, squares himself up to goal. He's celebrating early, and he's got another one on the board. Third goal in this second term to McKendrick, so he's on fire. Been given the licence to roam, and roam he is, and he's also proving a handful for the St Patrick's defence. Scoreboard check for you. 7-4-46 to Scotch. 5-1-31 to St Patrick's. 15 and a half minutes almost gone in this second quarter as we go back to the centre for the ball up. And there's going to be a free kick here. Someone standing where they shouldn't have been. I think it might have been the water boy. So away we go again. Now, big long kick on the left foot there from Everett of St Pat's. He's played pretty well in this second term. Ball loose on the ground. Spencer tumbles to the ground once again. The St Pat's ruckman. Oh, a heavy clash there of bodies. Picked up by Illingworth. Just handballed it to his feet. Kendrick goes in, misses the target. Now the ball's close to the boundary line, and finally it tumbles over in front of the masses there. The interchange bench, and in comes the ball once again. No one goes for the tap in the finish. The ball just falls over the back of the pack. It's a dour struggle out there at the moment, and that might be in the back. No, it won't be. Umpire Samet says that appears to be all right to me, and we'll have a throw in. Directly on centre wing in that interchange area once again. This time it's Scotch getting the tap away. They're on the run here, coming through centre wing. Wobbly old kick inside 50. No one can take clean possession once again. Now Sir Pats might have a chance to get it out. They do through the agency there of Luke Cox. Down onto centre wing, picked up quickly by Tidy. Tidy with the right foot down further towards the 50-metre mark. Punched out over the boundary line in the finish by Liam Reynolds as he realised he couldn't get directly to the drop of the ball to mark it. And discretion was the better part of valour, and he punched it out over the boundary line. Ball quickly back into play. Nathan Tidy does the ruck work for St Pat's. Quick handball there into the path of Everett. Everett had no right foot, so he went on the left foot. Now it's screwed back in front of goal. Dale O'Neill, the experienced O'Neill, takes a snap on goal. Play on, says the umpire. Now, did he lose the footy? He did. But there's going to be a free kick right in the goal square. to be taken for St Pat's. 18 minutes gone in this second quarter, a handy free kick, and it's going to be taken for them by big number 33, who is Cameron Bailey, right in the goal square, and pops it through for a major. So, a handy goal to St Pat's from a good tackle on the Scotch defence, and that brings the scoreboard up to Scotch 7-4-46. St Pat's still with that accurate kicking, 6-1, 37. So deep into the second quarter, they've still only managed the one behind, kicking very accurately, St Pat's. Old Scotch have only got the 4 behind, so it's a pretty good performance in front of goal from both teams at this stage. Back in the centre we go again. Double thump away there from the Scotch ruckman. McKendrick with quick hands. Gets it on. Inside 50 it comes. St Patrick's knocked the ball clear. Get it back outside 50. Then go back for the handball. McKendrick was the first one to it. He in turn gives it off to a teammate there who drives the ball forward. I think, pardon me, I think that was number 29, if I can find him in the program. And now, ball comes back in. This time the mark's taken by Connor Dixon. Tight angle for Dixon. Man on the mark's crept inside a little, which he's quite entitled to do. Dixon puts the ball on the ground, adjusts his boot or his sock or something, and now in he comes. He's going to lay this ball across his boot. Lands in the goal square, punched through defensively by Stevenson. And that adds the 5th minor score on the scoreboard to Old Scotch. Now they've got a chance to bring this back in again. He goes short. Oh, should have taken that, I would have thought. Matt Lynham drops it. McKendrick. Another high one out in front of goal. Punched away by the defence of St Pat's for a boundary throw in the forward pocket. Twenty and a half minutes gone. High boundary throw in. St Pat's kicking outside 50. The Tom Hawkins lookalike there for Old Scotch in George Oliver. Ball eludes him, picked up however by Browning. Browning finds a teammate outside 50. He comes inside 50. Can they make something of this? There's a bit of fumbling and bumbling going on at the moment. Now, St Pat's have the numbers to get it out of here. They do through the agency there of Bailey. Bailey, a goal kicker early on in this quarter when he put that good tackle on down in the goal square. Now ball close to the boundary line out in front of the scoreboard. Scotch pick it up. Long handball out of the pack. Pack developing away over there on the boundary line. As you can see in our camera shot, not much going on. And umpire Bass calls for the footy and he'll throw it up. There's the toss in the air. The ruckman fly. And the boundary line will be the winner. So 7-5, 47. Leads 6-1, 37. 10-point ball game. We started this quarter with 9 points the difference in favour of Scotch. They've increased that by just 1 point. Now, here they come forward once again. No one can get to the footy. Oh, it's been overrun again by the defence there of Hines. No one can pick it up. They struggle, they struggle. He tried to get the kick away and he's going to be penalised now. And he's going to play on quickly. He sees a loose man over here in number 43, who is Joshua Shepherd. And that was all to no avail because the umpire had called time on. So now it's got to go back. and he'll have to take the shot at goal. He does, and he misses. That's why he wanted to pass it off. Wasn't confident in the shot at goal. Outside 50 goes the defensive kick in. Allison with the ball, sprints inside 50, has a flying shot at goal this time and misses once again. So 2 minor scores in the last 2 scoring attempts to Allison. They've evened the goals in the behind score now. Old Scotch, they're 7-7-49. St Pat's 6-1-37. One of those anomalies in Aussie rules football. 7-7 makes exactly what 7-7 makes arithmetically. 49. Strong play out of defence there by Fleming. Ball to centre wing. Further around the boundary line in the direction of Dale Neal. He shepherds for his teammate there in Beams. Beams can't do much with the footy. Just bobbling around in mid-air at the moment. Dale O'Neill takes possession, gets it back out once again in the direction of Beams. Beams trickles it towards the boundary line, picked up there by Lynham. Lynham, fleet of foot, takes it forward and finds a teammate there in Spencer. Spencer quickly on play with a big kick inside. Bit of a push in the back there, but play's allowed to go on over the top. It goes in the direction of St Pat's Illingworth. He didn't really want the footy. So the Scotch defence stand up here, and can they get it out? Play on, says the umpire. They've got the numbers, but they're messing around with it in that last line of defence. And St Pat's have a chance now to get the ball and get a score on the board. So Old Scotch didn't do very well there in clearing the ball out of that last line of defence. And now a pack develops, and the umpire has no choice but to throw the ball in the air. And there's the half-time siren before the ball gets a chance to be thrown in the air and at half-time. As we go to the scoreboard for you, you will see that Old Scotch 7-7-49 at half-time lead St Pat's as 6-1-37 in this Division 2 NTFA Grand Final Reserves game. Goal kickers for Old Scotch: Paul McKendrick with 3 second quarter goals, Brodie Masters with 1, Allison with 1, Lockley Bremer with 1. We've actually missed one there, as we told you earlier on. And for St Pat's, we've got Cook with 1, Daniel Scott with 1, Dale O'Neill with 1, Sean Stevenson with 1, and Cameron Bailey with 1. We're also minus a goal kicker for St Pat's at half-time. So as the players leave the ground at half-time, Old Scotch 49 leading by 12 points, St Pat's 37.
As the teams go for half-time, Old Scotch 7-7, leading St Pat's 6 goals 1. And in the reserve, Wesley Vale is 43 goals 11, trailed by 1 point before 5 goals straight.
Welcome back to our coverage of the Division 2 Reserves Grand Final, coming to you from Windsor Park on this Saturday, the 9th of September 2017. Half-time break almost over, players out on the ground doing their final warm-up, umpires in readiness to go. Scoreboard reads 7-7. 49 to Scotch, and St Pat's 6-1-37 as Arnie from Carter Productions goes into the scoreboard to show you where we're at just before the start of this third term. And don't forget, anything that you want in analog digital reproduction, anything that you want at all in the way of conversions, go and see Arnie at Carter Productions in George Street in Launceston, and he'll do the conversion for you, give the advice that you need, And those old videotapes that you want to put onto disc or put onto some other media, Arnie's the man to go and see.
Half-time in the Division 1 first game, and close crackle 6 goals, Brisbane 6 goals 4, Longford 5 goals 7, 6-4 to 5-7, half-time Division 1.
So the umpires in readiness, players in readiness, holds the ball aloft, and the third quarter's about to get underway. Scotch going back to the right-hand side of your television screen, and there they go into attack to the Launceston, to the city end of the ground, and of course St Pat's going to the left-hand side of your screen, the Lagana end of the Windsor Park footy oval. Ball back in the centre square. Bouncing ball eludes all players. St Patrick's player held without the footy and he'll get the free kick. Be taken there for St Pat's by number 33. Now, Scotch with the work to do. Bit of a scrambly start to this third term. Now they've got a chance to go forward through the agency of Joby Sadler. Ball being forced out once again by the Thistles defence, close to the boundary line, and in fact out over the boundary line. Jumps the perimeter fence, and the boundary umpire waits for the ball to come back over. It's going to be a free kick in actual fact to Daniel Scott. Takes off to the right hand side looking for Dale O'Neill. The big man flies, couldn't hang on to it. Comes to ground, Scotch get it out of defence. This all-important third quarter here. Allison in there giving chase for Scotch. St Pat's with the numbers, work the ball out the back of the pack, then spear it inside looking for O'Neill. He can't get to the drop of the ball, taken there by Big Hookway, and his kick finds St Pat's. Oh, the big leap there from number 25 for St Pat's. Couldn't hang on to the ball. That was Jordan Beams, but it's going to come back in. Here's a man loose on his own at the top of the 50. That's Daniel Scott again. He fires it in, looking for a teammate. Over the back of the pack it comes, and I think that's going to be a goal. It is. He struggled the ball forward. Number 35 for St Pat's, Chris Taylor, puts the ball through for a major score. And St Pat's get the opening goal in this third term, the all-important third term. They move on to 7 goals as well now. Scotch 7-7-49, St Pat's 7-1-43. And as you can see, the quarter's just 2.5 minutes old. Back to the centre we go. Umpire with ball tucked under his arm coming in. He'll throw it high in the air. Umpire Samet it is. There it goes. High in the air. Oh, big sweeping knockout there from Spencer for St Pat's. Scotch, you're up to the occasion, throw and take the ball back towards centre wing. Play on's the call. Can they get through the traffic? They can. Out towards half forward. No one can take clean possession. Scotch at the drop of the ball. Get it inside 50. Bouncing out on that far side of the ground. Now they've got a shot on goal and it's hit the post. Hit the far side post from our commentary position here. Quickly bringing the ball back in the direction of Spencer is St Pat's. He takes the mark on his chest. He's also quickly on with play. Over the back of the pack it comes. Taken there for them. I think that was Bremner. It was. Allison goes to ground, gets the ball back. Pokey little kick out in the direction of a teammate here on centre wing. He takes a long time to get around the corner, but he does get round the corner in the finish. That was Oliver. And there's a whistle on play here, and there's going to be a free kick. Come back to St Pat's, and it's going to be taken for them by Ben Arkless. I think the free kick might have been against McKendrick for an indiscretion there. And here's Jordan Beams. Had a little bit of influence in the second term, Beams. Now he's gone the long kick. Nice long raking kick inside 50. Taking the ball off the pack there for St Pat's was Taylor. Gets it back out in front of goal, and it's going to be a nice defensive mark there in the last line for Old Scotch. Looking to see which side he'll bring the ball. Brings it out here to the broadcast side. That's Bremner. Not too sure how he's going to get around his opposition, so in the finish he has to handball it. I think it might have been out of bounds. The boundary umpire went to blow it and didn't, and finally it does go out over the boundary line. And a bit of a push and a shove here. Try and stamp their authority, the boys. And the boundary umpire about to throw it in. He does. Down it comes. Ruck work done there by Oliver for St Pat's. For Scotch. Forced through for a minor score. So that's just the second behind in the game to St Pat's. 7-2 to 7-8. They're within a goal. There's the kick out of defence. Mark taken at centre half back. He'll bring it out towards centre wing. Gets it outside 50. Races on there for the Tom Hawkins lookalike in Big George Oliver. But George couldn't get to the fall of the ball. And it's bounced out over the line. So he'll go back now and do the ruck work. The boys put their hand up. Mr Umpire, it's going to be me in the ruck. Mr Umpire. Throw in. Swiped over the back once again by Spencer. He's worked hard in the ruck for St Pat's all day. Rides the bump nicely there, did Rodman. A little bit suspect how he got rid of the footy, but the umpire allows the play to go on. Bit of a scramble here just outside 50. And an illegal disposal, said umpire Gary Bass. And Scotch will take the free kick through the agency there of Dixon. Gets the ball in, almost into the centre circle. Taken there by Lewis. Lewis quickly on with play. Oh, nice roving off the pack there by Old Scotch. I've lost him behind the pole here, but he's caught holding the ball, says the umpire. And the free kick goes to St Pat's. They work it to the far side of the ground. Now Arnie's having trouble with the pole. Ball comes free into our vision. Scotch turn the ball back into the centre corridor. That's a bit dangerous, and there to take the marks, Paul Johnson for St Pat's. He fires it back inside 50. All over the back, and almost came to him. Chris Taylor couldn't gain possession. He's still in there. He's looking for the ball. Got it. Lost it. Jumped on his back. Play on, said the umpire. And now we'll have a ball up. Oh, bumped out of the way in the ruck contest there, Dale O'Neill. Connor Dixon can't get control of the footy. Spats player puts his head down and tries to barge through the pack, but the tackle was too good for him. And Justin Wiley tied up in the tackle. Spencer in there once again to do battle with Oliver. Comes out the back where the speedy Tom Allison kicks the ball towards centre wing. The bouncing ball. Who's going to be first in the race? Clever kick off the ground there by Illingworth. Finds the boundary line out in front of the scoreboard that says there's a goal the difference. Scotch leading by a goal. Almost 8 minutes gone in this third quarter Division 2 grand final day here in the reserves at Windsor Park. This game, of course, will be followed by the Lilydale versus East Coast clash, where we'll see the 100 goal kicker Childs playing for the East Coast. And of course Lilydale in their second grand final in a row, looking for a premiership flag. Ball on top of the centre square here, into the attacking zone of St Pat's, and they'll get the free kick through Paul Johnson. Illegal disposal, said the umpire. St Pat's player taking his time to get up off the ground. Not feeling overly well. And the mark's been taken by Liam Reynolds out in front of goal for St Pat's. Liam Reynolds, the son of NTFA President Paul Reynolds, having this deliberate shot on goal, some 20 metres or so, maybe a little more, out, 45-degree angle, comes in, stabs at the footy, goal umpire doesn't move much, the players applaud, and Reynolds is on the board for his side with a third quarter goal. Now, Scotch racing the ball forward from that centre bounce and a little wayward to one side, to the right-hand side of the goalpost, and a minor score on the ball. So, not a great deal of scoring going on at the 10-minute mark, 10.5-minute mark of this third quarter. Scotch haven't added to their goal score this quarter. St Pat's have managed to add 2. And it's a mark out on that far side wing to St Pat's. They bring the ball forward. Oh, pushing the back there and bundled out of the way was St Pat's player. Play's allowed to go on. Way out on that far side. Play on call from the umpire. Looked like he was hanging the washing out there for a moment. Umpire Gary Bass. Now. Oh, Scotch player goes flying through the pack. That was Connor Dixon. There's good delivery of the footy into the fast lead out in front of goal for Scotch. Mark taken there for them by Lachlan Naylor. And Naylor will go back and try and put the first major on the board for Scotch in this third term. Little dive to the right as he came in for the kick. That's where the ball floated. Off to the right-hand side. Another minor score. 7-10, 52, 8-2, 50. So 2-point ball game here at the moment at Windsor Park. St Pat's on the far side of the ground, bring the ball in. Oh, he's bumped him on the way. Clever riding of the bump there by Cameron Bailey. Here's a snap on goal, and he's once again doing the big celebration march around the boundary line. Number 35 it was in actual fact, Chris Taylor for St Pat's. Third quarter goal to Chris Taylor, and St Pat's hit the front for the first time since halfway through that first quarter, where they kicked 3 majors straight early in that first quarter. They've now gone to 9-2, which is 56, leading Old Scotch 7-2, 10, 52, as you can see on the scoreboard there. Almost 12 and a half minutes gone in quarter number 3. So we've had a couple of good celebrations from the goal kickers in this game so far. Paul McKendrick for Old Scotch in that second term. And now Chris Taylor with a handy celebration after his goal. Scotch getting the ball forward from the centre bounce. They trail by 4 points. Here's a chance for them to get it down in front of goal. They do. Mark Spilt there. Out over the boundary line, right adjacent to the behind post at that city end of the ground here at Windsor Park. Boundary umpire picks the ball up and will do his work and bring it back into play. So it's a close contest. Ground still drenched in sunshine. Throw in from the boundary umpire. A good one at that. Scotch player fumbled the ball. Now he's had to run back outside 50 and hook it back round on his left foot. It's going to land right in the corridor. Races on for possession. Quick snap at goal by Connor Dixon. It's going to bounce through for a goal. Surely not. It did. set up at right angles and bounced through for a major. Well, I'll be. Knocked to the ground as he kicked it. We can't show you the replay, but he was knocked to the ground as he kicked it. It bounced on end, out in front of the behind posts, over the head of the players in the goal square and through for a major to give Old Scotch back the lead. 8-10-58, leads 9-2-56. So it's back to a 2-point lead to Scotch. Ruckman congregating in the centre circle. Umpire Gary Bass with the ball. Throws it up. Oliver wins the tap away. Caught with the footy will be Allison, and it'll be a free kick to the feisty little Ben Harkless. For St Pat's. Gets it out towards the edge of the centre square. O'Neill handballs it out to a teammate who once again didn't have a left foot. Sneaks it around the corner on the right. It's inside 50. Scotch with the numbers to work this ball clear. Smith caught with the footy. Gets the handball away. This is Bremner. He'll go back over the top to Smith. Smith with that excellent balanced running style of his gets the ball to centre wing. Handball's a little astray there from Scotch. Swooping on the ball for St Pat's is Tidy. He tidied it up nicely in actual fact and got it down to O'Neill. Ball went through his fingers. Pack go to the ground, whistle on play, and what's going to be the result? A ball up. Oliver, taken by Spencer, however, hits it back in front of goal for St Pat's. Here's a running chance of goal for number 13, and he puts it straight through the middle. That's Matt Lynham with a third quarter goal for his team. And St Pat's get the lead back in this seesawing third quarter. 10-2, 62. Leading Old Scotch, 8-10, 58. Back to a 4-point lead to St Pat's. So, 4 lead changes in this third quarter as these two teams do battle for the pennant. Division 2 Grand Final reserves. Spencer and Oliver, the two big men, fly once again in the centre circle. Ball comes to ground. Sweeping on, it's Allison. Been a good player for his side all day. Kicks it down in front of goal, and a timely mark taken there by Brendan Hines in defence for St Pat's. He goes to the far side of the ground. He'll land it on centre wing. Spencer over there, the big man for St Pat's, gets the handball off to a teammate on the way by. Not a real attack on the ball there by Nathan Tidy that time. He goes in and gets it, however, gets the handball over the top, lands in the hands there of Taylor. Taylor, a goal kicker in this quarter. O'Neill bumped out of the contest once again by the defence of Old Scotch. Sneaky little kick got away there for Scotch by Jacob Reynolds. Lands up in the hands once again of Allison. Back in towards centre half forward. Here's a chance for Old Scotch. They burst out of the pack into an open goal over the head of Dixon in the forward pocket and through for a minor score. Now the defensive kick for St Pat's. Can they get clean possession of this footy and work it around this side of the ground out of that defensive zone? Trying hard, a wobbly old kick close to the boundary line, and that's what the footy likes best. The white line around the outside of the ground, it finds it and it trickles out over for a throw in. Ruckman congregating once again. Spencer in there with Oliver. Oliver this time gets rid of Spencer in the contest, and a double-handed tap comes down where it's picked up there for St Pat's by Liam Reynolds. We got our Reynolds mixed up in the call earlier. It's Jacob Reynolds for Old Scots. It's actually Paul Reynolds' son, so we apologise for that. I did tell you early in the piece that we would make mistakes. And now it's an Old Scots defender's free kick on centre wing. Goes wide with the footy. That was Truscott. Finds a teammate out there on centre wing. He in turn finds a teammate who I think is Bremner. He goes forward on that far side of the ground. St Pat's take the relieving mark. Quickly on with play. Kicks it out into no man's land. There's that pole for you to try and get around again, Arnie. Right in his line of vision. Manages to get the ball out. Tackle. And the umpire says, give it to me. We'll have a throw up. There'll be a bit of a problem here finding out who the ruckman is. Late entrant, Oliver. And he, in fact, infringes against Spencer, and Spencer will take the resultant free kick. They've had a good battle in the ruck all day, those two big men. Now, St Pat's trying to get the ball forward once again and maintain that lead that they have. 3-point lead at the moment. 59 playing 62 in favour of St Pat's. It's down in front of the St Pat's goal. O'Neill comes on the scene. He can't control it. Taylor gets it back to O'Neill, gets it back to Taylor. He can't get the footy. Down, up he goes, gets it back towards O'Neill. O'Neill can't control the footy, and this will allow the old Scotch defence to run it out of defence, and they find Connor Nixon. He's quickly on with play, put to the ground after he's disposed of the footy, and there'll be a free kick down the ground for that infringement, and it in fact will go to Shepherd. Shepherd finds Smith. Smith over the top to the fast lead, didn't quite make the grade. Can St Pat's get out? Long handball. Outside 50. Smith going back over there after the footy. Can he get to it in time? Boundary line might win out here, I think. No, it won't. Umpire there having a close look at play. Comes back to Smith. Smith goes for the little kick inside and finds a teammate there. He kicks it inside and he in turn finds a teammate who will go back and have a shot at goal. Old Scotch chance to regain the lead here. 20 metres out of goal, and here's their big chance to get a major through the agency of Josh Shepherd. 25 metres out directly in the corridor, kicking towards that city end of the ground. In he comes, and he's put it through. Old Scotch regain the lead. Joshua Shepherd with his first goal in the game. Old Scotch regain the lead and have a 3-point lead at this 21-minute mark of the third term. Second goal in the quarter to Scotch. St Pat's have managed to add 4 in this vital third term. And it's anybody's game, this grand final, up for grabs. Almost at the end of this third quarter. Oliver in there to do the ruck work. In there for St Pat's this time doing the ruck work was Nathan Tidy. Ball comes over the back, out towards centre wing. Races on. Bouncing footy on centre wing. No one can pick up the footy. It's still baumbling around there in the pack, and the umpire's decided it's not coming out of there in a hurry, so he's gone in to control the pack and have a ball up. Throws it in the air. Tidy in there for St Pat's. Bit untidy in actual fact that time. Ball comes to ground. Boundary line will be the winner, and the ruckman once again will get ready for the contest. Oliver in there for Scotch. Tidy in there for St Pat's. Spencer having a rest off the ball at the moment. Has rucked tirelessly all day. Ball towards centre wing, bouncing footy. Old Scotch through the agency of Smith. Smith been busy this quarter. Out the back to Dixon. Dixon has a snap on goal. Likes the tricky shot, does Connor Dixon. And he puts it through. And that gives them some breathing space toward the end of this third quarter. 10-11, 71. Scotch, 10-2, 62. So back to a 9-point ball game as we reach the end of this third term. 9 points it was at a quarter time in the favour of Old Scotch. 12 points to Old Scotch's favour at half time. And now back to a 9-point lead for them. Just ahead of the 3-quarter time siren. Umpire Samet throws the ball in the air. Tidy jumps high. No one wins the tap. Ball to ground. Here goes Scotch forward again. Inside 50. Once again, the ball sits up on the end and bounces high. There's going to be a whistle on play, and it's going to be a St Pat's free kick. He plays on quickly. Out towards centre wing. Can they get a score late in this third term? They try to work the ball forward. They're going backwards a little bit at the moment. Here it comes forward. No one can mark the ball. Ball to ground. Knocked away from Old Scotch. Picked up by St Pat's. Here's a chance for them through the busy Arkless. Arkless kicks the ball inside 50. Scotch with the numbers. Caught with the footy. Play on, says the umpire. Ball once again free on the ground. Picked up. Quick snap on goal for them by number 33. Where's it going to do? Sits on the end again. Dale O'Neill in there. How many times have we seen that ball sit straight up on the end on the bounce here today? And getting the ball out of the pack, and it's going to be a free kick to St Pat's in front of goal here. Who's it going to go to? The Old Scotch player threw it out of the pack, says the umpire, and it's going to come back, and the free kick's going to go to St Pat's very late in this quarter now. There's the siren, shows how late it was. Jordan Beams is going to get the free kick for the throw. He's got a chance to get on the scoreboard here with a major and bring his team back within 3 points at three-quarter time. Siren's already gone, so the kick will be after the siren. Man stands on the mark just 15 metres out of goal. In he comes. Very deliberate approach. Surely he won't miss it. He knows he hasn't missed it. He's happy. The team's happy. They're back within 3 points at three-quarter time. 71 to Old Scotch. 68 to St Pat's, and the scene is set for a magnificent final term here at Windsor Park in the Division 2 Grand Final. So at three-quarter time, it's Old Scotch 10-11, 71, leading St Pat's, continuing that accuracy, 11-2, 68, 3 points to the favour of Old Scotch at three-quarter time.
Three-quarter time, 10-11, 71 for Scotch. 11-2, 68 for the Pat. Three-quarter time, Western Vale 8-13 in the reserve, 34-7-3, and Brisbane 6-4, leading Longford 5-7 in the early afternoon game with a kick after the siren. Brisbane 10-9. Defeated Scottsdale 10-8.
Be the one to get the first score on the board. McKendrick in there for Old Scotch. Went out of the game badly in the third quarter, I thought, McKendrick, after a really impressive second quarter where he kicked 3 second quarter goals. And there's a whistle on play there at the back of the centre square at Old Scotch. In fact, it is McKendrick who will get the free kick. He goes to a loose man in the centre of the ground. Has a bit of trouble controlling the footy. Finally does get it forward. Bouncing ball. Where's it going to end up here? In the hands of St Pat's. He's got the ball away, and away would kick it goal by Old Scotch. Puts the ball out of bounds on the full, and St Pat's will get the relieving free kick in the last line of defence through their captain in Cook. Captain Cook. Well, there you go. Captain Cook. Inside it comes now to Allison, who's been a good four-quarter player for his team. He spears the ball short, just the required 15 metres across the ground to his teammate there in Keenan Brown, and he'll get a chance to open this lead up a bit for his team. Close to the man on the mark. It's going to drop in the goal square. No, well, off the back of the pack, Dixon, and he's kicked another one, Dixon. So he's having a big day. I think that's his third goal, Dixon. Roved it off the pack brilliantly. and put it through. Not too sure if he's played a lot of reserve grade football this year, Connor Dixon, but he's playing in the reserves today and proving to be a real thorn in the side of St Pat's. 77 plays 68. St Pat's trail. Once again it's Oliver and Spencer. Umpire Samet walks in between them, throws the ball aloft. Oliver got the tap down, but to no advantage just yet. Can St Pat's take it out of there? They can't. Oliver goes down to the footy. There's been a whistle on play, and the St Pat's player will actually take the free kick. And that's David Tuxworth. So Tuxworth on the left foot, spears it out towards centre wing. That's a nice mark taken out there, plays on quickly. Inside it comes, half volley, couldn't be taken by the St Pat's forwards. Bouncing ball. Oh, Scotch, will he be caught with the footy? What's the umpire going to do here? No, he's been caught high, said umpire Bass. And the St Pat's player thinks he's got the free kick, but we've got some news for him. It's going back to Old Scotch, and they'll get the chance to send the ball out towards centre wing, which they do. Mark taken out there for them. Further around the line they go. And I think the boundary line will be the winner on this occasion. So travelling towards the 3.5 minute mark of this final term. Old Scotch with the only goal in the quarter, which has opened up a 9-point lead for them again. Been a few times during this game that the lead's been 9 points. Lovely wafting smell coming in the window from the hamburger man, of which I can't have one at the moment. Now, Old Scotch player thrown to the ground as he gets rid of the footy, still close to the boundary line on that side of the ground out there in the front of the scoreboard, which you can see says 11-11 to Old Scotch, 11-2 to St Pat's. And we've gone a little over 4 minutes in this final term. Oliver with the tap down once again in the direction of his team's goal. And once again it finds the boundary line. Ground bathed in sunshine here at Windsor Park. A little bit of breeze getting up now, as it usually does around about this time of the day. And I presume by the look of the trees out here to my right that the wind is favouring the city end of the ground, the end to which St Pat's are travelling in this final term. No one can get the ball clear from that boundary throw in. Finally, Old Scotch do work it forward, hold the front position on the pack but can't take the mark. And over in front of the sand trap, the boundary umpire will get to do his work once again. In it comes. Oliver and Spencer. Oliver gets the ball down, but it's sharked away by St Pat's. Held without the footy was he? No, said the umpire, so play goes on. Out towards the back 50 for St Pat's. No one can once again pick up the footy. It's been a bit of a mad scramble. Play on, says the umpire. Ball on the ground. Who's going to get it out of the pack? Here's a chance for a snap around the corner, and he's kicked it. Number 13 for Old Scotch has sneaked it around the corner in Fotheringham. Second goal in the term to Old Scotch, and that puts their lead out to a handy 15 points. Still only 6 minutes gone in the quarter, but it's still a handy lead. It means the opposition's got to get 3 goals to get in front. Interchange taking place here down in front of us. Coming on for Scotch, Will Clark. Bike riding name Will Clark. Ball thrown up in the centre. Oliver gets a second go at it. They're coming forward again. Oliver once again swipes it forward, but there's been a whistle, and it's going to be a St Pat's free kick in that centre square. Dylan Cure will take the kick. And now there's been another whistle. And it's going to be a free kick for a hold down there, I think it was. The Jordan Beams. His kick off the side of the boot out towards the boundary line. Paul McKendrick tries to evade the tackle, gets it around the corner on his left foot. Close to the boundary line. Paul McKendrick, of course, has been an extremely good footballer for North Launceston at one stage in the State League. Bracknell born and bred. Nice tap by Oliver to McKendrick, and this time he can't control the kick and it goes out of bounds on the full in front of the interchange area. So St Pat's through the agency of Liam Reynolds. Goal kicker in that third quarter for his side. Ball at 50. Down to the ground they go. Packs up and the umpire has blown the whistle and will come in for a ball up. Once again, no one can gain clean possession. It's a real torrid battle out there. Oliver with the ball. He's tirelessly battled all day for his side, the big ruckman. Picked up there for St Pat's by Liam Reynolds. Finds a man out there on his own. And that man is Sadler. Sadler inside 50. He's going to go the long one, I think. He has gone the long one, but it's not going to make the distance. It's as long as he could go anyway. Ball bouncing in the back pocket. Oh, miss kick there by the old Scotch defender. Go get a chance to get it out again, and they do so. Deliberate, say the players. The umpire says no. Throw it in. Does he? No, he doesn't. He has said called it deliberate. Long way away over there on that far side of the ground, on the eastern side of the ground. We being here on the western side. And that's going to be a mark. To Dale O'Neill, I think it is, down there in the forward pocket. Had a relatively quiet day, Dale O'Neill, by his standards. But now he's got a chance to put one on the board for his team. Did get a goal in the second quarter, the big fella. And now comes in deliberately and makes no mistake. So he's got two in the game, Dale O'Neill. One in the second quarter, now one in this final term. And he adds to his team score 12-11, 83, playing 12-2, 74. So we're back to a 9-point margin. St Pat's need this next goal. And then she'll be on for young and old. 10 minutes gone in this final term. In there this time in the ruck, Nathan Tidy giving Spencer a spell. Once again, the big fella for Scotch gets the tap away. Oliver, he would have to be in their best players, pure and simply for the fact that he's just worked tirelessly all day. This bloke's played a pretty decent second half of football also, Jordan Beams. His kick goes astray, however. McKendrick will take the ball at half back. He'll go towards the wing, find his teammate out there in Clark. Clark will bring it further round the centre wing. Looking for Dixon. Dixon got a big boot in the thigh and went down there in that clash. Slow to get up. And it wasn't Dixon, it was Brown in actual fact. Got hit. Tidy. Does the ruck work, then does the roving, then gets tackled high, thrown to the ground, and he'll get the free kick right on the edge of the centre square. So Pats need the next goal. Dale O'Neill leads to the footy. Played pretty well on him, the old Scotch defender, in this game so far. Oliver battling hard still, the big fella. And ball out over the boundary line for a throw in. You can hear the crowd urging on their players. Spencer back doing the ruck work for St Pat's. Gets the tap down, but it's sharked away here by the Thistles. Over the head it goes of, pardon me, the Scotch player. And through for a minor score. Fotheringham stands for the mark, awaiting the kick in. St Pat's with the ball in hand. He'll bring this ball in. He'll go wide. Ben Cook, the captain, going wide to the defensive 50. Raked in by Spencer. Runs away from his counterpart there in Oliver. Ball towards the scoreboard wing. Coming back inside for Old Scotch. Punched away there by the St Pat's defence. Dixon roving the ball. Quick snap on goal. And this time he couldn't get it around the corner far enough. Minor score. Could well be a handy one, however. 12-13, 85 I think it is. Leading St Pat's 12-2-74. St Pat's continuing that accurate kicking. Just the two behinds in the game. Probably kept them in the game in actual fact. They've got 25 scoring shots to 14 and they trail by 9 points. And punched through by Sean Stevenson there in defence for St Pat's. It's now 86 playing 74, so in actual fact it's a 12-point ball game. And a 12 points difference is in the minor scores on the scoreboard. Both teams have kicked 12 goals. Scotch have kicked 14 behinds. And St Pat's have just kicked the 2. Now they've got a chance to go forward off centre wing. They do, down in the O'Neill direction. And once again, Dale O'Neill's opponent takes the mark and goes quietly out towards the half-back flank. He in turn taps it over the top. And the boundary line will be the winner out there in the vicinity of the local bar on the far side of the ground. Throw in by the boundary umpire. There's a whistle and the boundary umpire is going to be asked to throw it in again. Didn't think it was that bad, but anyway. One of the ruckmen got to contest it. Now 2 ruckmen get to contest it. And Old Scotch bring it back around the boundary line. Try to get it inside their attacking zone. Now they've got a chance to do so. Quick handball looking for Allison, but it didn't get clear. McKendrick in there for Scotch doing battle. About to pick himself up off the ground. And the umpire will throw the ball in the air. Oliver gets the tap away this time, down in the direction of Allison. He goes by hand outside of the pack, kick smothered. Races on here for the loose footy. No one can pick it up cleanly. Allison goes back in and gets it. Brings it around the corner. Front man will be paid the mark, I would think. No, it's not going to be the front man. It's going to be paid to St Pat's in that last line of defence. Takes it away. Down towards centre wing. Picked up there by Hogarth. He gets it back to where McKendrick's standing just outside 50. He'll pop it over the top to Allison. Allison thought about running on and then decided, no, I won't. 16 minutes gone in the quarter. 12-point lead. He's decided to go back and have a shot at goal. The white-booted Tommy Allison coming in. Steady approach. Not going to make the distance. Drops in the goal square. St Pat's will rush this through. For a minor score? No, not a minor score. Out of bounds. Throw in, Spencer gets it down. Now they can get it out of there. And they do so by a kick from Cameron Bailey. And another throw-in will take place out in front of the big conference rooms on the far side of the ground. So, St Pat's working hard, trying to get the ball around. 17 and a half minutes almost gone in this term. Time's running out for them. They need to score and score quickly. And that'll be another throw-in on centre wing. Great day here for a footy grand final at Windsor Park. Boundary umpire gets a little wayward again. St Pat standing in the right place to get the loose ball. Dale O'Neill couldn't take the mark. Oh, nice attack on the ball there by the old Scotch player, but he's got to elevate it a bit too much and it's out over the boundary line on the full. Currently 14.1 degrees here at Windsor Park. 1:30 in the afternoon. And St Pat's continuing their forward move. He obviously thinks he can make the distance, the St Pat's player. He'll cross 50 and kick it just inside 50. He's given it plenty of heave-ho and it's gone through. It has. Beat the pack and went through. We'll pick him up for you in a minute. I'm not too sure who he is. That's 25 again, is it? Yes, it is. Number 25, Jordan Beam. So that's his second goal in the game. Since the first quarter, he's been one of St Pat's better players. And now they're back within 6 points. 13-2, 80. Trails 12-14, 86. So it's game on again here in this grand final between the two arch rivals, St Pat's and Old Scotch. Tidy in there doing battle this time with Oliver. St Pat's changing their ruckman frequently now. Allison caught high. Will take the resultant free kick in the centre square. Comes sideways, looking for his teammate and finding his teammate. Almost over the top of him in Lewis. Lewis taking his time. Almost 20 minutes expired. And that's a nice mark taken there by Jackson Young. He gets inside 50 with the kick. Oh dear, not a good attempt there by St Pat's, but they might get out of this, although this is going to go horribly close to the boundary line. And umpire Gary Bass says throw it in. Oliver coming late on the scene, doing the ruck work with Tidy, then chases his own ruck work. And the umpire said, you had long enough to get rid of the footy. And the crowd let umpire Gary Bass know they didn't agree with the decision, but it makes no difference. I don't ever see them change them. And now it's going to be another kick to St Pat's. Backward of centre wing, and the kick to go to Josh Illingsworth. He'll look to get it into the centre. No, he won't. He'll go down the side of the centre square. Over the top with the punch away there for St Pat's was Matthew Harvey. And the free kick will go to Scotch. He'll bring it towards Oliver. Oliver plunders after the ball. The big man's tired, and so he should be. Played a big game. The big fella hasn't been out of the ruck all day, to my knowledge, and that's cut off outside 50 by Cook. Cook will switch the ball to the other side of the ground. Finds his target. Play on's the call. He brings it back to this side of the ground, so they haven't gone far. Now they decide to take the ball forward. That was Cure. Down towards O'Neill. He tumbles to the ground. Harvey knocked the ball away from him. Played a big game, Harvey. on O'Neill, kept him relatively quiet, although the big fella has got 2 goals. He hasn't had too many other possessions. Now, St Pat's in the centre circle. Handball over the top. Can they make something of this? Bit of a scruffy old kick, but here's a chance. Luck's of Fortune falls into the arms of Tidy. Tidy's got a man loose further down the wing. Lands in the hands there of Bailey. Bailey on the run, drives it out in front of goal. Oh, here's a chance. No, he's fumbled it in the goal square. And it's going to be kicked off out by the Scotch defence, and they've found a man out on the half-back flank. He's going to go straight across the face of goal. Luckily finds a man out there who drops the mark. Now he's going to be tackled and thrown to the ground. And a boundary throw in will know it won't. It'll be a free kick to St Pat's for the good tackle. O'Neill, over the back of him it goes. Goes back in after it, does the big fella. Can't pick it up. Now, pirouetting out of the pack there was Illingworth, I think. And good mark in defence by Scotch. McKendrick making the loose man for him at the back edge of the centre square. He decides to go to the other side of the centre square. Loose ball, no one can pick it up. St Pat's do eventually. Put it back inside in the direction of Bailey, but he was out-muscled. Now McKendrick will take the mark at the back edge of the centre square. Lead on offer out here for him. It's going to fall into the arms there of his teammate in Young. Young looks for a teammate further up the ground and finds him in Shepherd. Shepherd quickly on with play. Oh, the big men go to the ground. That was Sean Smith. Now, St Pat's have got to get this down the other end of the ground pretty quickly. Kicked it out in the direction of the big ruckman, who's lumbering after the footy as fast as he can go. Was good enough to force the ball to the boundary line. Puts his hands on his head, trying to regain his breath. Spencer back on the ball for St Pat's. Oliver once again still there for Scotch. He's taken on 2 of them during the course of the day. Tap not decisive for either side. Running towards 50. Can they get out of trouble? Dixon was on the way by for the handball, but couldn't get it. So we'll have another throw in. Almost 25 minutes gone in the quarter. Just over 24 in actual fact. Throw in. High in the air. This time Oliver gets back position and gets the ball down. It's to these teams' advantage. What's going to happen here in front of goal? Allison pirouettes, and in the way again, playing a good last quarter in defence, Cook. Smith on the mark. Cook goes high. Wobbly old kick, but it's going to come to 50. No one wants it. They're all a bit tired out here in this reserve grade grand final in the sun. And umpire Samet says, who's the ruckman? We can tell you Spencer. Wasn't Oliver in actual fact that time. It was number 45, Brodie Masters. Now it's outside 50 once again. And there's the siren. 25-minute mark of the final term. And Old Scotch win the Division 2 Reserves Grade Grand Final. Congratulating one another. Paul McKendrick in the picture there. Number 49. Man that had a big influence on the game in the second term, went completely out of it in the third term, but came home hard in that final term. And Old Scotch run out winners by 6 points, is it? Yes, it is 6 points. 12-14, 86, defeating St Pat's 13-80. Lilydale quickly out onto the ground to do a warm-up for the senior match. We'll have the reserve grade presentation for you first as the officials make their way out onto the ground with the official dais, etc., for the presentation of the Premiership Cup. That scoreline again for you. Old Scotch 12-14, 86, defeating St Pat's 13-80 in a seesaw affair here in the Division 2 Reserve Grade Grand Final. We're missing a couple of goal kickers, but I'll give you what we've got for Old Scotch. Connor Dixon kicked 3. Lachlan Bremner 1. Tommy Allison 1. 3 to Paul McKendrick in that second quarter. Brodie Masters 1. Joshua Shepherd 1. And Fotheringham 1. And for St Pat's, 2 to Dale O'Neill, and 2 to Jordan Beams, 1 each to Chris Taylor, Cameron Bailey, Sean Stevenson, Brendan Cook, Liam Reynolds and Daniel Scott. So as I said, we're missing a couple of goal kickers there for you as the players exchange pleasantries here at the end of the game. And we'll, in a moment or two, have the presentation of the Premiership Cup and the medallions, and following that we'll go to the senior game for you.
It is the Scotch Memorial Medal. It will be presented by the President of the League, and the winner of the Scotch Memorial Medal goes to Scotch's number 3, Tom Allison. Now we'll present the medals and caps to each individual player from the old Scotch team. And of course the last 2 men up will be the captain and also their coach. But we'll start off with the lowest numbers, and of course number 3 has already been up there. Yes, so he just walks slowly to have a good go get the medal sorted out. Number 3, Tom Allison. The next one, of course, is the coach, so we'll hold him back. We're followed by number 11, Edward Hogarth. Number 13, Eric Follingham. Number 17, Brandon Brown. Number 20, Cleveland Morgan. Number 21, Jason Reynolds. Number 22, Matthew Harley. Number 23, Will Clark. Number 24, George Oliver. Number 57, Tyler Nixon. Number 28, Lachlan Brenner. Number 29, Sean Pitt. Number 30, Lachlan Naylor. Number 26, Andrew Truster. Number 38, Chad Rowney. 33, Josh Shepard. 45, Brody Martin. 57, Jackson Young. 48 is Paul McKendrick. 48, Captain who wore number 52 of Scotch is going to get. Obviously, on this list, because I've got two there and I only have one. I can't even find them on the list. Okay, Ed Bradley, Avis Quickway, and then of course, that will be followed by the coach, Nick Hughes. I thought there was another one. Okay, Brad, you can take the lead now. You can be last up. And save the best for last. And we'll get Nick to say a few words about it before we make the presentation of the flag to the President. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen, Nick Hughes. He'll give you the medal.
Thanks to the hour. This is Pat Boyce, but the best mark for probably 40 years now. For a while here, and it's gone down the line. So I think everyone's got a pretty good game. The old Scotch, well done. Hang around for the next few days together. Should be pretty good, I reckon. Flights that gets out, last week we had everyone else. Thanks to Joey for running, players, supporters. That's having the coach and as well. Thank you.
Get the President to come forward now with the coach to receive the cup and also the premiership plaque.